holistic health. One of the most common things that people come through with in our clinic is this thing called leaky gut, and I want to explain to you a little bit about what that is. Basically, when someone comes in with a leaky gut or any sort of digestive complaints, and very often it can be related to something specific like some excess bloating or gas or maybe some reflux, or they've been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, they present with this thing called leaky gut. So what it is basically that any time you've got any sort of digestive inflammation occurring, inside your intestines there, like your stomach and a little bit below there, what actually happens is that sets off a bit of an inflammatory reaction in your digestive system. And the way that works is that you've got your cells inside your digestive tract, which are just single cells, and they're just lined up like that. They're held together by these things called tight junctions. And basically what happens is the cells stay together, and stuff that's on the top there, any food that you take in or any drink, just stays up there, and the cells are like that. And then below the cells is your bloodstream. That's where all your nutrients get absorbed into your bloodstream, and your immune system sits behind there. 70% of your immune system in your body sits behind that wall there. It's blocked off by these cells held together by the tight junctions, and that's the way that your digestive tract normally operates. But when we've got this thing called leaky gut, what happens is that where the food normally sits in here, there's some sort of inflammation. Now that could be coming from any sort of toxins that you might be ingesting, so any alcohol or cigarettes or something else, for example. It could be if you're overly stressed. It could be if you're reacting to certain foods. So for a lot of people, they can be quite sensitive to things like gluten and dairy. And it could also be an imbalance in your gut bacteria, your good bugs and your bad bugs. Sometimes they can get out of balance. Any of those things, or some of those things together, can contribute to causing inflammation inside your digestive tract. And what actually happens is that the cells that line your digestive tract, held together by those tight junctions, the tight junctions get loose and they actually open up like that. And stuff that was normally in your digestive tract comes through the gap and then gets into where your bloodstream is and where your immune system is. And that's what we refer to as leaky gut. So you've got your cells there, you have inflammation, they're not held together by the tight junctions anymore. There's a gap, stuff leaks through and into your bloodstream. And then unfortunately, what happens then is that inflammation, or that inflammatory process that comes through there, the body gets quite irritated, and that spreads from your gut right throughout your body, because your gut's not like Las Vegas. You know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Unfortunately, your gut's not like that. So when this stuff is leaking through, this inflammation is leaking through, that spreads throughout your whole body. And that can react and show up in certain things like any skin conditions. So that's where your eczema and psoriasis will come from. It's been linked to things like allergies. So that can even be from hay fever, and that can develop into asthma as well. That's been linked to this whole process of this leaky gut. Also, anxiety and any depressive conditions, they could be linked to leaky gut as well, because your gut and your brain are quite connected. That inflammation flows from your gut up to your brain, setting your brain inflammatory system on fire, as it's termed, inflammation. That can upset you and upset your mood. Psoriasis, as I said before, so anything like that, and of course your normal digestive stuff that you would notice, and that happens all for people with, they might have an autoimmune condition like a celiac disease or something like that they've inherited, or it could be some other condition there, or you've got your diarrhea, constipation, all that sort of stuff is obviously caused directly from that. And that's how food intolerances develop as well. So you get that, a reaction to a certain food causes that leakiness, and then that sets off a reaction in the body, and your body learns that, that particular food, I wasn't too happy about that, and you can develop an intolerance to it, and that's how your dairy and your gluten intolerance can develop there as well. So that's what leaky gut is. Hopefully that explains it in a little bit more detail. It's very, very common, and it is linked to lots and lots of conditions. There was a research paper that came out a couple of years ago, which basically said that all chronic health conditions can be related to leaky gut. So it's something you need to be aware of, and hopefully that explains what that means. You might have heard the term before. So leaky gut, not a very nice thing, but unfortunately very, very common in our society at the moment. Okay.